Hello, I've recorded this case study for Kneebone Trees to tell you a bit more about what we do for them and how we're getting results and what we're finding works really well. Tree surgery is an interesting one from the point of view that I suppose there's two sorts. There's the planned and the unplanned. So there's a storm, and a tree comes down and hits a house, and it's unplanned, and it's an emergency, and who can I get out quickly to sort things out? And then there's the planned, i.e., the work needs to be done in the next 6 months. We'll find someone, we'll get it booked in, and it's all done without a big panic. So there's obviously two main sides. Within that, clearly, with most tree surgeons we work with, there is the commercial side of the work and the domestic side of the work. But it's a similar sort of requirement from the point of view of what people are looking for. The customer, whether they be domestic or commercial, they're still looking for someone reliable, trustworthy, etc., to come out and take care of this problem that they have, i.e. the trees are too big, they're in the wrong place, whatever it may be. So we're always, when we're building any kind of website, we're thinking about the audience, we're thinking about who they are, what they search for, what they're trying to find. And a lot of the time it comes down to sort of trustworthiness. It comes down to seeing a company that they believe knows what they're doing, are experts and are reliable, and they can take the problem that they have and hand it over to them. One thing we've worked quite hard to achieve with Kneebone Trees is to get that sort of personal side into their website. So starting from the homepage here, trees are beautiful, and tree with blue sky behind is even better. So we want to use images like that where we can. But more importantly, we want to show the people behind the company. Now, when someone's up a tree, it's a bit difficult to do that. But photos like these two here are fantastic for that, because you can start, rather than just showing tree after tree after tree, you can start showing who it is that's doing the job. Because, as great as trees look, for your average customer, they just don't want to see page after page of trees. They want to see, who are these people? What are they doing? Why are they doing it like that? What's their knowledge, their expertise, etc. Here's the directors of Kneebone Trees, Jacob and Rory, and photos like this I think are fantastic because it makes them look very approachable, very friendly, down to earth. It's sort of what you're trying to do with a website is persuade someone obviously to make contact. And the way you do that is by, appearing friendly and open and welcoming and everything else. And photos like this work extremely well. Down here we've got some of their services, and again, where possible, we've got people doing things. We've got people up trees, we've got people doing stuff. The trees, sure, they're the focus, but we're trying to make sure wherever possible we've got somebody on the in the photo as well. As well as who they are, what they do, projects and so on. We're also putting sales messages on the website, calls to action, i.e. contact us, phone us, things that will persuade people to call them, i.e. past reviews. Down the bottom here there's a little widget with all their reviews. So they've had 129. I think every single review they've had is 5-star, which, knowing them, isn't surprising, because they are incredibly professional, and the way they run the business and everything related to it is done extremely well. So it's no wonder all their customers are very pleased. What we've worked quite hard at with them is that every time they finish a job, an invoice for it, an automated sequence of emails goes out to the customer asking them to leave a review, linking to their Google profile to make it easy for them to leave a review, just because it's such an important part of search ranking to have lots of reviews. And also it just makes the company look good. If you're looking at tree surgeons and you find 3 or 4 local, and there's one with 129 reviews, all 5-star, the words that people use are all fantastic. It's a bit of a no-brainer from the point of view of, well, if we're going to use someone, we can probably be fairly certain that Kneebone Trees are really good, because so many other people have used them and have said they're excellent. We, on a website homepage, we try and make it a bit of a summary of everything within the website, because almost everyone is going to look at the homepage of the website. They may not look at the blog pages, the project pages about the company and so on, but pretty much everybody will look at the homepage. So we're trying to make sure we've got a bit of everything here, that we've got the projects, we've got services, we've got reviews, obviously, we've got news articles linking across to them, little newsletter on this one, which is designed to build up a bit of a database that we can keep in touch with people. And there's a few of their commercial clients as well. And then, at the bottom, links to all the key pages on the website to make sure that Google can find everything, and all the key information is there. So really the homepage is a bit of an overview of everything that's within the website. There's one or two interesting things about this site. They're tree surgeons. That's the bulk of their work. Obviously, within tree surgery, there's hedge cutting. There's an element of sort of grounds maintenance related work. They don't really want to do too much of that side of things, but site clearance they will do. They will do commercial grass cutting, stump removal, etc. So there's all the sort of the key tree surgery services and some related bits and pieces. And we've tried to, in the menu, make it easy for people to see what they do. So here's tree related stuff. Here's hedge. Here's things that are other bits and pieces. Being a tree surgeon, clearly there's lots of wood to get rid of, and they sell firewood, which is a nice little profit centre aside from the core business. And the demand obviously is in the winter. They do unfortunately sell out much more quickly than they could do. They soon run out. But what we've set up on the website here is an e-commerce side of things to try and simplify it. So we don't want people phoning them saying, "Can I have a bag of firewood?" and then they've got to take payment over the phone, and they've got to write down the details and everything else. We want all that simplified. Now, I'm recording this in February, and unfortunately they've run out for the winter. So we've got a message up here saying we've sold out, won't have any more until August. If you'd like to be notified when they have some, fill in the contact form, which quite a few people do, because they want to make sure they don't miss out for next winter. And then it's a fairly simple e-commerce site. They've got sort of four main products, which are a large dumpy bag, two large dumpy bags, three large dumpy bags, or three narrow bags for when there's restricted access down the side of a house. And the online shop does the hard work for them, i.e. when there is stuff in stock, someone clicks on there, they add it to the basket, they fill in all their details, they choose when they want it delivered, they make payment with a credit card, and at the Kneebone Trees end of things, they're notified of the order. They see when they've got to deliver it. There are a limited number of delivery slots for each available day, and they've got different days of the week when they'll do deliveries. So they're not trying to do too much in one session, and it's all simplified and organised. So all they've got to worry about is A, getting the firewood, and then B, delivering the firewood. And they haven't got to think about all the other bits and pieces that go into it. So it's quite a simple way of sort of running that side of the business. One of the joys as well from a tree surgery company perspective with firewood is there's a huge amount of demand for it. And it lets them build a bit of a database of potential customers, both for future firewood orders and also for tree surgery work and hedge cutting and so on. So all these people that are buying the firewood from them are ending up on their sort of main database. And next year when the firewood's available, they'll get a message about it. Also, they'll get a message saying, if you are looking for any tree surgery work, please let us know. So it's a way of sort of growing their customer base in a sort of a friendly way, rather than sort of being pushy or anything else, because they've already got to know Kneebone, they've already used Kneebone, and are pleased with what they've done, and therefore there's more chance they'll use them for other things. We have a number of projects on the website, and one of the objectives with projects is to show different things and how they do them. So to show even the basics like crown reduction. What is crown reduction? How do you do crown reduction? To show emergency tree work when a tree's come down and hit a house, for example. To show commercial work, just to show lots of different things they do, so that the potential customer that hasn't used them in the past, doesn't know anything about them, if they're a good company or a bad company, can see some examples of work they've done and get to know them a bit, get a feel for how they work, what they do. What we've also got them to do a number of is videos showing the whole process. Tree removal in Totnes. What works particularly well is a before and after video. So a video showing what you're going to do and why you're going to do it, and then a video afterwards showing what you've done and how you did it. It's fine having a photo of a tree and saying, right, we're going to reduce the crown here, and then showing a photo afterwards showing it's been done. But there's an awful lot of detail that goes in it, even down to the basics of how do you up the tree in the first place. How do you start? What's the approach? How are you going to go about doing things? Video is a fantastic way of explaining all that, while at the same time of demonstrating expertise, demonstrating knowledge, and the professional attitude behind the company. Here's one. I think Rory recorded this one. There we go. And this is the best way of starting a video. Camera facing yourself whilst you introduce it, and it's along the lines of, hi, I'm Rory from Kneebone Trees. I'm just going to tell you about this project. And then people see who is talking, so they know straight away from the outset, okay, that's the guy. His name is Kneebone. Obviously, he's one of the company owners. Fine, so I know who I'm listening to, whose expertise I'm trusting. And then really, what he's doing here is, I'll just play a little bit here with the sound off. He's just walking around, showing what they're going to do and explaining what they're going to do and why they're going to do it. So it just, all sort of makes sense to the person viewing it. Rather than just being a single photo, and you look at that and you think, well, I don't quite know what's going on, why they're going to do, what are the reasons behind it. He's talking them through it from the point of view of the customer, and what's, you can see here, this tree's come down this building. You could, what we need to do to try and resolve this problem. Then, and we've got some from the other end here, then on this particular one, they've recorded some video during. So they're actually, rather than just showing the after, they're showing how they go about doing it, just showing the, what is for them a relatively straightforward job that they're doing regularly. For the customer, it's a, tree come down in your building is hopefully a once in a lifetime thing, and no more often than that. So showing how they approach it and what they do is fantastic and very informative and useful information. And then at the end here, showing the the final thing, i.e. we finish now and here's what's left. So it's a great way of sort of telling the story behind what you do and demonstrating your experience, whilst people are watching the video and hearing you talking about it. There's a couple of other things on this side I think are very good. One is the About page, and I always take the view that on a website, the two most important sort of areas or pages are the projects page and the About page, just because very few people will make a completely new inquiry to your business without looking at those two. They, sure, this is what you do, fine. Let's assume that you do what they need. Before they call you, they've never ever heard of you before. They want to see what you've done for others, make sure you know what you're doing, and most importantly, who you are. And these are the key selling pages before somebody picks up the phone or fills in a contact form. On the About page, what we really want are faces, are showing who the company is. So yes, we've got information here about the history of the company, how they got started and everything else. Then we've got the two directors here, looking friendly, looking approachable, smartly dressed in their company shirts and so on, which is all great. Then we've got a bit more about the business in terms of things like I'm approved and so on. A couple more photos there. And then we've got a meet the team. We've got, here are the guys behind the company. I think there's a couple more that need to go onto this side as well when we get photos from them. And it just sort of paints that whole picture of who the business is. What I particularly like with team photos is this sort of informal on site. Yes, we've got the directors here straight at the camera, that's fine. But it's great when we've got photos of the guys doing the job, rather than trying to get them to stand still, stare at the camera, smile, and so on, which is always quite difficult because you get a sort of rictus to your face when you smile for too long. Much more effective is getting photos of the guys working, in their element, smiling, turned sideways. If we can get a bit of the company logo in, fantastic. That sort of stuff works extremely well. Now, there's another part of this site which is a sort of a site visit booking calendar. Clearly, they're going out to a lot of sites. They're having a look at what needs to be done. They're taking down some details. They're going away. They're sending out a quote afterwards. And there's a number of challenges behind that. One, obviously, is booking it into the calendar. How many can we get booked in each day? We want to be as effective as possible. The other is being certain that the homeowner or the business owner is there when they turn up, because the worst thing is if they've driven for 30 minutes and the person's forgotten all about it and not told them. So on their website, we have a site visit calendar. Now, they have 2 or 3 days a week available for people to make bookings. So here we are, 6th of February. At the moment, I think they've got Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So it looks like next Tuesday and Wednesday are fully booked. And then they've got some availability the week after that. We've got this calendar set up so there are slots every 30 minutes. Obviously, there's some booked in there. And when someone books one in, then we don't let anyone book straight after. So if it's booked in for 7:30, we've given them a bit of a grace period. So the next one can't be booked until 8:30. So they've got time to get between locations. They're doing some of the booking themselves. So when somebody calls up, they're going into the calendar and booking the site visit. They're also sending out a link to some customers so they can pick a date themselves and book themselves. So they're depending on how somebody is, they're doing a mixture of that. The key thing though is what's going on behind the scenes, which is that when somebody books an appointment, let's say it's for the 18th at 7:30, as soon as they've booked it in the calendar, our software is sending out an email saying, thanks for booking a site visit with Rory and Jacob. We'll be with you at 7:30 a.m. on February the 18th. If you have any, if there's any problems or anything, please let us know. And then a day before the appointment, another email goes out. Just want to remind you, we've got the site visit booked for tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning. And a text message goes out as well, normally an hour before, just as a final reminder to make sure they haven't forgotten about it. And all of those messages are doing a little bit of selling on the company, just telling a bit more about the company. And they're also saying, if something has come up and you can no longer make it, please let us know, to save them, the 30-minute drive that's wasted because somebody forgets about it. So it's trying to make the whole site visit process more professional, but also prevent them from wasting time because somebody forgets. So to try and, by telling them multiple times, reminding them multiple times of the appointment, try and remove any that would forget about it. And if they can't make it, they'll at least reply to say, sorry, we can't do that. Can we arrange a new time? Often, as your business is growing, it's these little bits and pieces that help make a difference, just making it all that bit more streamlined, a bit more professional and organized. And then you can really focus your time more effectively on the key areas of growing the business rather than wasting time here, there, and everywhere. So that's Kneebone Trees, fantastic company in Devon, and we've worked with them for some time now, and we're seeing the business growing really well. And you can tell by the reviews that the service they're giving is first rate, and their customers are very pleased. On the back of the growth, they're hiring more people. They've been able to increase their prices a bit as well because there's more inquiries coming in, and they're not having to sort of think, well, we've only got a small number of inquiries, we've got to win every single one. They're getting a steady flow of inquiries coming in, so they can include a bit more profit to cover all the the work they do, and in turn, they're doing an excellent service for people. So they're trying to do everything right and grow the business in a very professional and sustainable way.